Okay, so I'm going to call to order the meeting of the Raleigh Planning Board for today, Thursday, December 20th. It's 10:05 a.m. Today we have a single issue on the agenda. We have a request from the applicant, owner of the Briar Barn Inn, to amend the certificate of vote to allow occupancy prior to the final as-built plan being submitted and approved. So they've asked us to determine if they're in compliance with all matters regarding safety and traffic flow, and we've done a site visit to make some determinations on that basis. Mr. Venditti isn't here at this point, but I think that's all he's looking to do. He'd like to take occupancy of just the inn, which would allow occupants overnight lodging, but otherwise not use the rest of the facility. So at this point, we're not permitting or authorizing the issuance of an occupancy permit for the restaurant. We're not considering the spa, the art gallery, or the main building or the administrative building. In fact, we're just looking at considering allowing occupancy of the inn lodging building. Correct? So. At this point, anybody have any questions or comments about
the fire department guy?
Everything we would do is we
All of
subject
that
to.
has to do with the building department.
Yeah.
Final
Yeah.
review.
I'm satisfied with it.
Everyone,
Larry, you have anything to add?
Kevin, anything you saw over there you want to?
Oh, signage and lighting was big.
All right.
I think you had mentioned, though, about making sure there were conditions in terms of that there would be no construction that would interfere with public access to the driveway or to the...
Right, we didn't, we did mention that, and we're coming up with a few covenants. We don't deal specifically with the ongoing, and that's kind of why I was hoping the applicant would be here, because, we're permitting occupancy of the lodging facility, and he said that all the site work will be complete at that point to the west of,
From the lodging to
the street.
Main Street.
All site work will be complete, and I think we should.
Parking for any construction workers working on the site would be
Limited to the construction fence beyond.
Handicap space back on the left side of the...
I can put all these in writing if everybody's kicking around here if you want
Good.
tomorrow. But let me just go through them so we all agree on it then. The easy ones first would be the sign-offs from the fire department, the building inspector, the board of health. Those are easy. They're really not planning board, but you should make them
Subject to.
Yeah, subject to. A stop sign at 1A going out, and I didn't find it on the plans that I have, which are not the final plans, but I think that's important. I mentioned it to Jerry, and he said if it's on the plan, it'll be there. If it's not on the plan, he'll get it there. So I think that's an important condition to have.
That's come up with a couple other issues that we've done.
We did the same thing at Montessori School. I think we should do it here.
All other signing is in progress. I looked at it, walked around, and it's in accordance with the plan. But we'll put that in as final condition.
I think there's some more signs that
The construction fence, is it actually going to be a fence or just the restricted parking?
He said
He did mention a fence, some sort of
barrier. Or
He's got some of
fence.
that rubbery fence, like wedding fence there.
I think that's just going to be an impediment to people fluidity of people going in and out to try to put some kind of fence across. Maybe
some
maybe just
delineation, demarcation,
some signs in the concrete buckets,
Some pylons.
some kind of signs, temporary signs in concrete buckets that can roll
Yep.
around in and out of the way of a bigger piece of equipment. But what we want to do is restrict it to the front of the restaurant building and easterly.
Because I think we need those handicap spaces.
Yeah,
for
you
the line.
need this one, and then no construction parking here or here. Even though this is not open, this is an access to the.
Yeah.
So all construction parking in the rear of the in parking area.
rear of the front of the
I
restaurant.
mean, I think that's consistent with what he said. I don't want to
Okay.
hand time.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what he.
Well, it looks like that would give them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, probably almost 15 to 20 spaces.
Okay.
And as they get closer to finish, I imagine their number of people that have vehicles there is going to decrease. I mean, right now, they pretty well got 15 spaces filled up right there.
Right. But they're
But he's got
finishing up.
8 more days.
So no construction parking in front of the spot, no construction parking northeasterly of the inn. Northerly, just northerly of the inn. And then all construction parking from the face of the restaurant back, with some kind of temporary
Restriction?
bollards or something.
Yeah, some physical barrier.
Yeah. Yeah, if they use those signs, construction parking only, in the concrete buckets, then they can roll them around, roll them in and out.
Right.
And take them out at night when fire access might be needed back there. So that's that. And I noticed that, and I don't know if they intend on doing it because they didn't have a chance to ask, but we've got fairly high curbs right now stepping up to the walks because they've still got 2 inches a bit to go on at final paving. So that'll be fine once they get that on, but it's not now. So it's a high step. Plus they've got, when they set the curb, they got the concrete where they set the curb. So you've got a 1 foot cut there. It's a tripper. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if this paving crew that's working out front here is going to move on in and do that, but I think it definitely needs to be done all along that front where people are going to be stepping up on the walk.
I agree with you. I noticed how high those curbs were. I think it makes sense if they were using the parking lot that it'd be safe.
Yeah.
But
What you're worried about is the other side of the curb?
Yeah.
Step over it?
The parking side of the curb, because they have that cutout when they set the concrete. So they cut it out, they pour concrete. Now they've got an inch or two that they need to fill back in with binder. Because right now it's kind of you step off the curb and you step down, and then you have to step up 2 inches. It's a tripper, whether going up or down.
So what they're doing out front is what you'd like to see them more or less do all the way around. On
Well,
the edge of the-
they're patching the road and doing everything, doing a whole different thing out here. But
Okay.
wherever you've got the curb is where the situation is. I don't know if we've got a detail here.
I just drew one.
I mean, and I certainly understand the issue. And right now, it's supposed to be 12-inch curb, and it's probably 15 or 18 in some places, right?
There's a
No, it's not even
situation
12 inch,
right now. They've got this concrete poured. They cut the bit back. They set the curb, poured the concrete, and now there's nothing in this space right here. So somebody stepping off of this, it's now about an 8-inch curb, is going to step down, and then they got this little tripper right here. Or when they're stepping up, they've got to step down in this hole and then step up. This should be filled in temporarily
With
I agree.
with binder.
with binder.
Yeah. Binder or top, it doesn't matter. It's temporary. It's only going to be there for less than a year. So it's just a matter of filling that. That's a very rough surface, and it's got this little edge right here. And
It's
then
going to be tough at night.
Well, I mean, is that a reasonable condition to put on him at this
Yeah.
point, given his
Yeah.
request? Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
It's kind of like with the temporary markings. I mean, we'd have to make sure that they maintain the parking.
No, it has nothing to do with that.
Well, no, but it's under the same thing as, like, we're asking for temporary improvements until that.
The paint markings, you
Yeah,
mean?
the paint
Yeah,
markings.
they're all there. I don't know if you guys noticed the arrows and stuff painted on
Yep.
on the binder.
So I mean, I think that makes sense to ask him to condition it on putting a binder coat in that.
I mean, does the binder coat normally have to go in there, or is that the side they put?
No, they normally put the binder back in. If it's going to be a while, they can put the top in there.
They don't have to tear it back out after?
No.
Anything that like goes with public safety should be reasonable to ask for at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I mentioned him in the back. I don't know if anybody else was following it, but because Brent's gone, I'm headed out to the Voltec site there. But around the back here of the restaurant, there's in the in the backside of the fence that goes along
Oh, you
here.
mentioned, I saw you mentioned.
Yeah,
that.
it's quite a steep drop here, and the situation with the rains coming, probably very possible it's going to wash over the top of the sill fence. So I told him I'd give him the name of somebody. He said he didn't think he could get them. I said, I'll give you the name of somebody where you get another row of
Waddle.
erosion control, another wattle or hay bales in there, one or the
I
other.
agree with you on that one. I was there when you mentioned
Yeah,
it.
yeah. So
Because it's
it's
supposed to
not
be-
a big area, but it's going right down to this
Fine.
pond or vernal pool, whatever the final determination
It's supposed to
was.
be 2 inches of rain.
And with the frozen ground, it's going to sheet right off of there, I'm sure.
Is there
Yeah.
rain coming tomorrow?
Yeah,
Tonight.
all day tomorrow, like 2
All day
inches.
tomorrow.
So,
Better.
yeah.
Oh, great.
So I'm going to get him a phone number for anybody know Mike Pavlicek here in Browning, MTK. They do all this TEC and temporary erosion control, and he'll probably be able to help him out to get that in. But I'll give him a phone number and then.
Now,
ask him to-
I mean, as much as that, from Conservation Commission, that makes sense to get done.
Yeah.
We're not going to condition for that. Is that something you're going to, how are you going to incorporate that, or just going to rely on Jerry doing it?
I'm going to rely on Jerry to do it. I'm going to put him in touch with him.
Okay.
You know, he was kind of balked at it a little bit because he said, I don't think I can get that done today because
Yeah.
he's busy with so much other stuff. But I think Brent would have done it, and I don't think he would have shut the job down for it in anticipation of something.
Kovalchuk's good time. They're not landscaping now. That's all done.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get lots.
So I've got to get his number from my office, and I'll give it to Jerry. So that's all I have, I think. And then a final meeting on the 28th with David and or Chris.
Yeah.
All right, well, then I would,
What was that time? 12:59?
I'll tell you.
I would move that the planning board amend the certificate of vote to incorporate the conditions we just established to allow them to take occupancy of the lodge prior to.
Do we need to amend the certificate of vote, or do we, are we not just,
Well, what does the
Making
certificate of vote
recommendation.
say? I didn't bring it with me. If you've got your file, I'm not sure that there was, I scanned it last night, and I didn't see it. It was a fairly abbreviated.
we're just trying to give the building, the zoning official clearance to issue a certificate of occupancy, not necessarily
Okay.
alter or amend the existing.
Prior to issuance of an occupancy permit for any building,
Well,
subject to
change
this
it,
approval,
really.
the applicant shall submit an as-built record plan.
Oh, they do, they are submitting those, and we should be.
Yeah, I've got it. I've got
Oh,
it.
okay.
Yeah. I've been completed.
Did they give us a copy, extra copy, or is it the only?
I ran two if you want me to give you one.
Okay.
He has them over there.
Yeah.
But it says prior to the occupancy of any building, so that's a good thing.
Right.
Subject to.
Allows us to split them out.
And so I think submit to planning board an as-built record plan for the site depicting all improvements. So that's the thing you need to modify, I think, is that you're going to give them conditional approval for the in only without
Without an as-built.
a fully developed record plan for depicting all improvements because they're not done yet. So that's what you need to modify.
Got it? Which one is it?
So it's condition
Number
number
11,
11.
condition 11.
You gotta remove the as-built record plan.
And you could say that there has been an interim, which is what this is called, an interim as-built plan of land.
Yeah, we did say,
I think that makes sense.
Yeah. Which I've looked at, and I think for what we did this morning, what you're going to do is much more important than the plan. So,
So, on that number 11, can we say with the substantial compliance with the interim as-built approved plans or any?
Right. The interim as-built plan dated 12/19. Where is it?
12/19.
December 19th.
So that's going to be a motion to amend, and then we're going to take a separate vote to authorize, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, good. So on the floor, I'm going to make a motion that we amend the certificate of vote dated September 13th, 2017 by allowing the acceptance of a preliminary or interim as-built plan depicting the improvements to date.
interim as-built plan that has been submitted, dated 12/19.
Okay,
Yeah, I like that better than the word approved.
okay.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So the next vote that I think we need to make is to authorize the issuance of the occupancy permit to the board, with the conditions. Well, we have to,
We authorized the building department.
that's what I'm saying. We're not authorizing the issuance, we're authorizing the building department to consider, I guess.
Yeah, it is still up to the building
Yeah.
inspector to issue, well, that, from the planning board perspective, that he's in the clear. But he still needs to confirm with the fire chief and
Board of
with the Board of Health separately. That's
Right, so all we're doing is confirming that
for the
they've met the
yeah.
requirements, certificate
Site
of vote
plan.
for the issuance of a occupancy permit for
That's our
the lodge.
First,
Per the site plan review approval.
well, did we just do that?
No, we just
No, we just
amended
amended.
this
Okay.
to allow us to accept less than a completed as built.
Yeah.
So now we're stating on the submission of this
So it's okay
initial
with us to move
as-built, or
ahead.
preliminary as-built, we're,
And our field visit.
in our field visit, we're confirming for the building inspector that they've met the requirements of the certificate of vote for an occupancy permit for the lodge,
For you, yeah.
Call them in, they call it.
consistent with Mr. Graham's notes from the meeting today.
Yeah.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Do we need to, like the specific conditions that you're going to write up?
Well, they're in there, right?
Is that
Just mentioned.
what we're just referring
That's going to be incorporated into the second vote, which is just this authorization.
Okay.
Confirmation, authorization.
Okay. And you're going to write that?
Yep.
up and send-
I'll
Okay.
get it to you tomorrow.
Okay.
All right?
What's your next move?
Okay, we adjourn the meeting.
Yes, second.
Very good.
Those in favor?
I,
Merry Christmas to all.
Merry Christmas, yeah.